So with this, if I watch these next few seconds tick down, we can see for one thing that it starts counting down into negative numbers. That does not make for a very good timer, so we're going to need to change that at some point. But what I'm going to do in this step is I'm going to add in a button that starts the timer. Because I don't really want it to be that when you just show up on the page like I'm doing right now, the timer just starts off right away. That's kind of, I don't know, kind of alarming from a user perspective. So instead I'm going to create a button. I'll call this start timer. And then I'm going to make it so that when you click on start timer, that is when this timer starts counting down. All right, so it's not doing anything now, and then when I click on it, it starts counting down, which is awesome. The only downside is if I click on this a whole bunch, it starts counting down really, really fast, which can't be right. That's because every time I click on it, it's creating this new timing function right here. Putting it another way, it is creating a new instance of something decrementing this timer every second. So if I click on this 10 times, there are going to be 10 things decrementing the timer every second. So every second, it's going to go down by 10. That's not what I want at all. I want it to just go down by 1 every second pretty sensibly. So I'm going to need to put in a way of preventing me from clicking on this after it has been clicked on once. First off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this function and I'm going to move it down here. I got to give it a name. I'm going to call it countdown, and then I'm going to put countdown right here. And this still works perfectly fine. Doesn't solve my problem, but really the only reason I did it is because I think it looks a lot neater than having the function just scooched right in there. Okay, so that's all very nice, but now I want to prevent that button from being clicked on again. So there are a couple different ways to do this, but one way is to, well, first take this button, save it to a variable. I'm wrapping it in cache to make it a jQuery variable. I can add this disabled property. So I'm using jQuery's.prop. That affects this disabled property. And now when I click the button, you'll notice that for one thing, it grays out. But for another thing, it is no longer possible to click that button. I'm trying as hard as I can, but it's not registering any more clicks. That's pretty nice. So now I can't click on it again. So there we go. My next step is going to be to make it so that it can't go down below 0, I think. But I'll stop with that. So I'll say timer starts on click.